How hot is Fall Creek real estate? We just finished the first quarter of 2022. Have values gone up? Are homes selling? We're gonna find out today. We're gonna take a look at Fall Creek real estate and take a look at some key metrics and identify some key trends. Stay tuned. Welcome to Sweet Life Stats. My name is Hanh. I'm with the Sweet Life Real Estate Group with JLA Realty. Today we're going to look at the Fall Creek community and take a look at the data from Q1 and see if we can find out if there's some interesting trends going on and identify what's going on in the neighborhood. I'm going to take a look at 3 different metrics, and they're going to be key metrics that's going to give us a big picture view of what's going on. So stay tuned. Okay, here we go. First metric is number of homes sold. Of course, we want to look at the amount of traffic or the amount of units that have been sold in the neighborhood. And what we like to do is compare that with previous years, the same period of previous years, so that it gives us a little bit of contrast and it gives us a little bit of context so we know what we're basing it off of. So we're going to look back from 2019 till now. And the market's been very interesting the past 3 or 4 years, obviously due to the pandemic. So when we look at the comparisons here, we want to compare apples to apples. So looking at number of homes sold, we're looking at a total of here in the first quarter, we had 33 homes sold here in Fall Creek. And as of Q1 of 21, there was 46 homes sold. So we're seeing movement, but there's a tight constriction. There's a little bit of constriction here in the number of units moved. Keep in mind the first quarter of the year is typically the slowest. So if we look at seasonality, the first quarter of the year, people are coming off of New Year's, they're trying to get the place cleaned up, spring cleaning, all that stuff. And typically right after into spring break and then after Easter, that's when things start ramping up in terms of folks getting their homes ready to be listed. We also like to look at some activity by village here in Fall Creek. So here's some interesting trivia for you. So in the first quarter of this year, Water Oak is the village that had the most activity. They're very busy. They had 5 sales. And in second place was Rustling Oaks with 4 units sold. So that's the number of homes sold. And we compare that year over year. Again, there's a little bit of constriction. You can see the blue line there pulling back compared to how it was in same years or previous years in the same quarter, right? So that's homes sold. Jumping to the next metric, we have a very key indicator, and that is dollar per square foot sold, right? So when we look at houses, and again, we want to compare homes in terms of value, apples to apples, we have to come down a little bit and look at a little bit more granular view, and dollar per square foot is the primary metric, right? So if you look at one home sold for $300,000 versus one home sold for $500,000, well, if it was twice as big, it kind of justifies the price, right? So we want to look at the actual footprint that it takes and how much it's sold for. So looking at Fall Creek, hold on, fasten your pants here. Comparing from 2019, 2020, and 2021, you see the averages down there. 2022, first quarter of this year, you can see what those numbers are. And we've jumped like from an average of 105, 110 up into the 130s. Pretty crazy. So you can see here in Q1 of 2021, last year it was 110, and Q1 this year so far is 133 per foot. So far, that's a 21% increase. It's pretty incredible. If you look at the entire year of 2021, the average was $120 per foot. And this quarter already, we've already jumped way past that. So that's not going to be indicative of the rest of the year. We got to see how that plays out, but it's a pretty significant jump in terms of values. So again, the difference between 1-story homes and 2-story homes is also going to be different. But if you look at it across the board, we're averaging at about, you can safely say, about $130 per foot. So, those of you that bought in recent years or have bought and held onto your home, congratulations. You have a huge equity position. So keep that in mind when you take a look at your home if you're getting ready to sell. The final metric that we'll look at is days on market. So days on market is important because we want to see how long the home is sitting before it gets under contract or gets sold. So that's what days on market is. So when we look at the days on market here, the higher the number, obviously the more days on the market, the longer it's taking. The lower the number, the faster things are moving. And again, you can see here, you compare the previous years, 2019 through 2021. We're dropped significantly, right? And again, this is indicative of a lot of the shortages and need for single family homes, specifically outside the city center. So a lot of suburban areas, and Fall Creek is no different. So we look at the numbers here. We're sitting at an average of 35 days on the market, right? That is a pretty big drop compared to previous years. If we look at 2021, we were averaging about 45 days in the 40s. 2020 was all over the place. That was 50 plus days. And then 2019, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, you're close to like over 2 months sitting on the market. So things have rapidly changed. You will not be on the market that long if you choose to list your home. Typically, it's in the first 2 to 4 weeks that you're gonna get an offer. There are a couple of homes in Fall Creek by an iBuyer that shall remain nameless for now. They typically have homes sit on the market for excessive amounts of time compared to this, usually about 3 or 4, maybe even 6 months. But if you take that, if you average it out, we're still sitting at about 30 days or less days on the market for selling. And that's what we have for Fall Creek. So taking a look at those metrics, we definitely still have demand. Fall Creek is always one of the highly desirable neighborhoods to be in, with close proximity to the 59 and the Beltway and the airport and easy access to downtown. It's one of the unique communities based on location that a lot of people want to be at. So there's usually not a lot of supply. There are no more new builds coming into Fall Creek in its established neighborhood. So when we look at the valuation across the board, about $130 per square foot, that'll range, and it's really going to be dependent on the condition of the home. Are there any upgrades, or is everything original? That's going to play a part into the valuation of your home, especially if you're looking at it putting up for sale. Things are changing really quickly in real estate. The market is always rapidly changing. So if you're looking to take advantage of this market and you want to have a quick strategy session, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm Han Jones with the Sweet Life Real Estate Group with JLA Realty. We'll see you next time.